You ever played that game where you have to guess how many pennies are in a container? How many pennies do you think are in these two bags? We'll get to that in a minute, but put that number of how many pennies you think are in here in your head. What's more important than how many pennies are in these bags is what these pennies are going to represent for the next couple of minutes. Did you know that Ardeo Global has now turned its focus 100% to sending missionaries from the reached world to the unreached world? We define the unreached as any country or community that has less than 2% of its population that are professing followers of Jesus Christ. Now, what these pennies represent is total giving in the entire Christian world and how that money is spent. Okay? So the Joshua Project did a study a few years ago, and they came up with these statistics. So the first statistic, 12% of all Christian giving is spent on local outreach in the reached world. So we'll put those pennies in here. This is going to take a minute. The next statistic, 1.7% of giving is given to missions around the world. In the reached world, we're talking about administration, administrative salaries, administrative buildings. We'll let this continent be representative of mission giving around the world. The next statistic, world evangelism. 0.24% of all of the money given in the Christian world is spent on world evangelism. However, that's evangelism to non-Christians in the reached world. We'll let this continent be the representative of 0.04% of all Christian giving goes to reaching the unreached. We'll let this continent represent that, which is 1 penny. So going back, do you remember how many pennies you thought were in these two bags? We'll let this continent be the representative of the last statistic. 86% of all Christian giving goes to buildings, salaries, and administration in the reached world. Jesus says in Acts chapter 1, verse 8, "You'll receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and to the very ends of the earth." Here's the ends of the earth. I'm not saying that this should be 0 and this should be 86%. But I am saying that if we can just take 1 penny out of the 86% and throw it in the 0.04%, we could fulfill the Great Commission in very short order. How many pennies were in those bags? 2,500. 1 penny out of 2,500 is being used to send missionaries to the very ends of the earth. I want to be a part of changing that. Would you join me?